Hi, welcome everyone to my channel, and today we're going to explore the ketogenic diet. Have you heard about the ketogenic diet? Now, this is a diet that's become very famous in the last 2 or 3 years, mainly because most celebrities like LeBron James, Halle Berry, and Kim Kardashian have been using this to get in shape. Now, when you first hear about the ketogenic diet, the macronutrient ratio might just scare you, because here's how it goes. You have to eat 70% fat, 20% or 15% protein, and only 5% carbs. Now, that being translated into grams would be you're only about to eat 20 to 50 grams of carbohydrates per day. Now, for some people, this comes as a shock because if you look at just a banana, that's 23 grams of carbs. So, if you're following a strict ketogenic diet, one banana and that's it. You cannot have any more forms of carbs the entire day. Eating 70% fat, yes, that is correct. Now, in the ketogenic diet, you increase your fat intake super high. This is because we want to change the way the body processes fat. Now, let me explain. For all of our lives, we've been dependent on carbohydrates as a source of energy, to fuel our bodies, to fuel our muscles, and to fuel our brain. But what if I told you there was an alternate energy source which is much more efficient than carbohydrates, which can help you build muscle, make you lose fat, increase your thinking, and that is what you get onto the ketogenic diet. Now, when you're burning carbohydrates for fuel, you go under a process called glycolysis, which is the burning of carbohydrates to generate more energy. When you increase your fat intake, you start switching your metabolic burning power, let's say, to fat. And that starts another process in your body, which is known as ketosis. This is what this diet is trying to get. It's trying to elevate blood levels of ketones, which are basically 3 different types of ketones. They are acetoacetate, beta-hydroxybutyrate, and acetone, to generate an alternative fuel source for your body and for your mind. Over the internet, you'll find a lot of people showing off their before and after pictures of fat loss and muscle gain when they go on the ketogenic diet. And this is because ketogenic diet has this ability to burn fat much faster than going on a traditional diet. And this happens because when your body starts burning fat for fuel, this is the exogenous fat that we eat and comes from our olive oils and butter and different kind of dressings, as well as your endogenous fat, which is the fat that you carry as a part of your body fat. Now, when you teach your body to burn fat, it's also called as beta oxidation. This will help you start burning and mobilizing those internal fat stores for energy. And over a period of time, you'll be so efficient at burning your own body fat. And that's why all of these people have been successfully able to burn their own body fat. Now, ketone bodies are a much more efficient source of energy when compared to glucose or carbohydrates. How efficient, you ask? 25%. Now, studies have shown that using ketones to fuel your body can give you a 25% increase in energy in all your cells. Now, we have trillions of cells in our body. These cells make up tissues, these cells make up muscles. So basically, you're trying to provide 25% more energy while you run, 25% more energy while you think, and 25% more energy for important organs like your heart, your kidney, which in today's modern world is always being taxed. Now let's jump into the 10 top benefits of going on a ketogenic diet. The first one, weight loss. Now, one of the problems that people who are overweight have is that they cannot control their appetite. Appetite is also linked to certain hormones. Now, when you have that voice in your head that keeps telling you that you're hungry and you must eat, this is a hormone in your body called ghrelin, which is also called the hunger hormone. And the time that you just take a step back from the table and say, oh, you know what, guys, I'm done. That is leptin, which is a satiety hormone. And both of these hormones are controlled by the hypothalamic region of your brain. What the ketogenic diet has shown to do is to regulate the signals that come from the hypothalamus to secrete these certain hormones. What happens in turn is that your hunger hormone goes down, so you feel less hungry, and leptin, your satiety hormone, gets up. Now you're feeling full and satisfied all the time. Another reason why leptin goes up is because fat is extremely satiating, and when you're eating more fat, you kind of get full very easily. In a study of 100 overweight people were divided into two groups. The first group was asked to eat a standard diet. The second group was asked to eat a ketogenic diet, while both of them were trying to lose weight. Over the end of 24 weeks, the people on the standard diet would only lose 4.8 kgs when compared to over 10 kgs lost on the ketogenic diet. The participants also reported that they had better mood and overall much more energy when compared to the guys who had a standard diet. A study published in Nutrition and Science even showed that people who are on the ketogenic diet can reduce their ability to be dependent on diabetes medicine. This is because when you're on the ketogenic diet, your insulin keeps going low, and that makes your body insulin sensitive instead of the diabetes promoting insulin resistant state. The next one is heart disease. Now, one of the biggest biomarkers of heart disease is how much cholesterol you have in your body. Cholesterol can then be broken down into various different components. The ketogenic diet has shown to increase LDL, low density lipoprotein, which is a type of bad cholesterol that we don't want in our body. At the same time, increasing HDL, which is high density lipoprotein. This is classified to be the good cholesterol that we want. And in animal studies, the ketogenic diet has shown to increase the recovery rate of animals post a heart attack, and also increase the number of mitochondria, which is the energy supplying units in our cells throughout the heart. The next thing is to burn as a cleaner energy source. Now, just like a power plant, when you put coal and other raw materials into the power plant, there's pollution and other gases which are byproducts. And we don't really like these byproducts, but we have to deal with them. Now, the body has a similar mechanism. When you feed your body a lot of carbohydrates, just because carbohydrates aren't an efficient source of energy, they have a lot of metabolic byproducts, which are called as reactive oxygen species and free radicals. Now, when these free radicals and reactive oxygen species increase in your body, they cause chronic inflammation. Inflammation, as we know, has been linked to every major disease in the world. Now, let it be diabetes, cancer, everything starts with chronic low-level inflammation. But when you use ketones for energy, they burn much more cleaner, therefore having less reactive oxygen species and free radicals in your body. The next thing is to build muscle. Now, ketones molecularly are very similar in their structure to something called as branched-chain amino acids. When we consume a lot of fat in the absence of carbohydrates, these ketones can mimic the same function as branched-chain amino acids and spare muscle. And if you're training hard, even help and assist you building muscle, given you're eating the right amount of calories. The next thing is brain disorders like epilepsy. Now, the ketogenic diet was first formulated to treat epilepsy around 1915 or 1920. That has had a success rate of over 50%. New research from the University of Emory has highlighted that ketogenic diet can influence the expression of genes and the way neurons function in the brain to give the patient more power to deal with these seizures. New research has also shown us that the ketogenic diet also has an ability to influence the myelin sheaths, which are a fatty tissue that covers communication between neurons. So the more myelin sheath that you have, the easier your neurons can communicate. You can think faster and take actions equally fast. The ketogenic diet has shown to do that, as well as increase the mitochondria, which are the units that provide energy in our cells, or the battery pack of our cells, directly into the hippocampus region of the brain. So it is basically providing your brain with all the energy power it needs to either fight a seizure or think faster. The next thing is brain health. Now, when you look at your brain, when you analyze it, it is nothing but 60% fat. So it's fair to say that if you're eating a diet full of fat, it can provide good quality nutrition to your brain. Now, fat is also very important to maintain the integrity and performance of the brain. What happens normally is that when you're elevating your levels of carbohydrates in your body, you get insulin resistance. Now, that concept can also be extended to your brain, where the neurons and the neuronal components of the brain gets resistant to insulin and glucose, which means they're not able to utilize glucose for energy, and that leads to neuronal death. And this is a common condition that happens to Parkinson's or Alzheimer's. That is why they're being mentioned to be type 3 diabetes. What happens with the ketogenic diet is that ketones are water soluble, so they can easily pass through the blood-brain barrier and act as a source of energy for the neurons. Now, even if the neurons are, let's say, resistant to insulin, the ketones in their structure itself, they don't spike any insulin or glucose. So they're easily able to enter the neuronal membrane and the neurons by itself to provide those cells with energy, and therefore avoiding things like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. Now, a study done by the University of Crete in Greece also shows us that autistic children and their excitability of their brain, like them getting hyper every time, can be reduced when they're on a ketogenic diet. Also, a study shows that Parkinson patients have a 43% chance of improvement when put on a ketogenic diet. The ketogenic diet has also shown to reduce migraines and lower the use of pain medications. The next is cancer. Now, I want to introduce you to the Warburg effect, which states that cancer cells only rely on glucose or sugar, which happens as a result of eating carbohydrates, for growth and multiplication. Now, these tumor cells cannot get that kind of energy from ketones. When your body is running on ketones as for fuel, the cancer cells cannot grow. Now, in a lot of studies, ketogenic diets have shown their efficacy by not only stopping the cancer cells from multiplying, but even reducing them. And this is why ketogenic diet has been recommended to a lot of cancer patients. The next is anti-aging. Well, you'll be surprised to know that the ketogenic diet, or specifically ketones, specifically beta-hydroxybutyrate, which is a major circulating ketone in our body, can also signal genes and transcription factors. Now, it helps us increase our lifespan by signaling something called as histone deacetylase, which is a type of protein which is wrapped around our DNA and instructs us to do some of its functions. The ketogenic diet also turns off the NRF2 pathway, which is a major inflammatory pathway in our body. And as we know, inflammation leads to disease. Also, in a study published in Cell and Metabolism, they found that mice which were given the ketogenic diet had better biomarkers of health, longevity, heart health, and that increased their lifespan by a median of 13.6 years. Now, that is a long time. Now, those are some of the top benefits of going on a ketogenic diet, but as everyone is different and we have our own individual biochemical responses to things, I would highly encourage you to try it, but if it doesn't settle with you, drop it. Do what feels good, do what feels nice. And remember, your body is always going to give you that indication. So just because your neighbor is on the ketogenic diet, or you've heard about so many things on the ketogenic diet today, that doesn't mean you have to be on the ketogenic diet. So try it for yourself, check out the science, and if it agrees with your body, do it.